today is day 2 of our 12 Trees of Christmas, and I thought today we would go with a pistol stitch. First up, I'm going to go up the centre with a split stitch, and then we're going to come off the branches in a pistol stitch. So as always, I'm just going to start off with a starting stitches, a couple of starting stitches. As always, you can start with a knot at the back if that's your preferred way. Obviously, we all have our different ways, but I get asked a lot why I, just bear with me, let me just cut that off, because it's why I start with a starting stitch. Well, A, it's the way I was taught, and B, it doesn't unravel if you just start with a knot in the back and that knot comes undone. Your stitches could very likely unravel. It also keeps things flat on the back. You don't have that knot, especially if you're framing something up. So we're going to come up 3 fabric and down. I'm going to follow this line along, and then you want to come back up through your and split that previous stitch. Then go back down. Try and keep your stitches a similar sort of size. If you're a beginner, you can go the other way. Let me just explain when I come back up. So how I'm coming up through the centre of the stitch from the back, you could go back down a little bit like back stitch, but you're going through the split. But it does, for some reason, use a lot more thread, and it's not quite as neat. But whichever suits you, whichever's easiest for you, whichever's your way. I must admit, I have different ways. If I'm tired and my eyes are tired, it's easier to go the other way. So you're going down through splitting the stitch rather than coming up. But yeah, you can. Oops, let's pull these out. Because I've made my frame quite small, I've got very little space to manoeuvre. Maybe I should have popped him on a bigger frame. Not to worry. So I'm going to go all the way to the top using the split stitch. Once you get into this rhythm, it's quite easy. It's one of the simpler stitches, but it always looks really effective. It's nice for filling in for things like if you want to do birds and they've got lots of feathers. Split stitch is quite nice because you can use different colours and split the colourways. Outlining things, I always use a split stitch to outline if I'm doing a satin stitch, because that way you can use the line to sort of raise your satin stitch up a little bit more. Lettering, it's great for lettering, and you don't have to use a line to guide yourself with, but it is quite easy to do if you've. I like guidelines, especially if I'm teaching. It helps. I've just had Reggie and Gertie having a bit of a kerfuffle, so if they come back I'll have to break off. Oh. If you're using a hoop, sometimes this is easier because you can go left to right or right to left if you're, depending on whether you're left-handed or right-handed. But as this is fixed, it doesn't want to come up through the middle, does it? Make your stitches as big or as small as you like, by the way. Do a big one or little. But obviously the bigger you go, the loopier your threads will be. Doesn't want to. Sometimes you just can't see to split it. Just hold it down a bit. That's why I say if you're a beginner, go the other way, go down and split it rather than come up. PEARLE threads are quite notoriously difficult to use as a split stitch as well. They're easier if you do black back stitch, even though they are made up of 2 strands or more than 2 strands. The twists feel more difficult to split. That's not split it. If you've got one of these laying tools, that's always useful. A lot of gold work, using a lot of gold work, but they are quite useful for sort of pushing threads around in small spaces. And a pair of tweezers, which I have got somewhere, but they're always good as well. Just coming up towards the end. I am going to put some beads on this for a little star. So I'm just going to do a couple of little finishing stitches, so they'll be hidden there. Just do a couple of tiny stitches. Again, you can finish this off on the back, especially if you've got it on a hoop, but because I'm static, I can't flip it over. Okay, I'll just snip that from behind. Okay, try not to cut my finger off. Okay, so I'm going to do a pistol stitch next. So I'm going to start at the bottom, and I'm going to come from this. For this, I'm going to use a cotton PEARLE, and again, just get rid of the waist knot. Pretty. So I'm going to come up. This is like a bit like an extended French knot. I'm going to come up one side of my tree trunk. I'm going to hold my working thread down towards my fabric. I'm going to get my needle quite close to the fabric, wrap it once, twice. You can wrap 3 times if you want a bigger knot. And then you're going to go down, back, through your fabric, and hold this, still holding on to this, otherwise you'll get a loopy knot. You've got like get a little knot at the end. I'm going to go up one side and then up the other side. So down. Again. Oops. Try not to let go of your thread, otherwise it will become a tangled mess. 1, 2. You can put a bead on the end of these if you so desire, but I like the little knot itself, it looks cute. Oops. Got a slightly bigger knot there where I've not held onto it so tight. So the tighter you hold, the tighter your knot will be. A little bit like a French knot. It's a strange noise. I don't know whether you can hear that in the background. As you come up towards, oops, see I've made a bit of a loopy knot there. Hold on. I don't have to undo that. Bear with me, I'll undo that knot and I'll be back. Sorry about that. Yeah, see, if you don't hold on to it tightly enough, it will make a loopy knot. And you might want that look, but I don't on this project. But they do look quite nice. I'm just going to go, oops. Fit a pistol stitch in that. Might just. But I'll just put a French knot in at the top there. Okay. So I'm going to go up through the other side. Just going to put myself a little couple of stitches into heart to finish off, and Gertrude's back. As I say, these little tiny stitches you won't see when they've got the beads on. Just get rid of this darting knot. So I'm going to do exactly the same and come up the other side, and then I'll come back once I've done that and we'll do the beads on the star. So I've gone all the way up both sides, oops, and I'm back with what I want to do for the beads. I'm just going to put a few up here. Have a look what I've got. I won't want those big ones. These are a little bead mix that I've just used, that I'm just going to use. If you haven't got beads, you can get them on the internet quite simply. I live in Nottinghamshire, and we've got a bead shop in Nottingham City Centre as well. I go in often. Okay, so these are little seed beads, and you will need a beading needle, or at least to make sure that your needle goes through your beads, the hole in your beads. So I've threaded up with some sulky, Gutterman sulky thread. You can use bead thread, ordinary sewing thread, anything like that. So I've done a couple of starting stitches and I'm coming up through. I've got no rhyme or reason to this little star. I'm just going to go with a couple. I think I want to go to the centre. Do I? Just looking what I've got. Try and make. Okay. I want to sort of make it as long. Oops, as one of the star points. So once you've got threaded on, lay your thread in the direction you want to go and then go back down. Sorry the beads are jumping around on here. I'd usually have them on the desk, but because I've got to pick up, just come back up again. Oops, they're bouncing all over the place. I'm going to go in with another cup. Oops, come back. Oh, I don't want to get on. Like I say, I've got no sort of method of how I'm putting these on. I'm just... Yeah. You could put these all in one length. The only reason I don't is because of it, if they come unravelled, they're all coming off. If you've got bugle beads, they're good for little stars. So. About 3 seems to be the... Go back down. Oops, Gertrude, pull the curtain down, wonderful. These beading needles are so fine, they do get bent. Ooh. Seem to be jumping them all over the place. So lay your beads in thread in the direction you want to go and go back down. I've got a bit of a wonky star going on, but I don't mind. just going to put a couple of stitches in that bit there. I'm just going to make another. These bouncing all over. My daughter will be having anxiety when she watches this. Is that a bead or is it broken? Can't see. I think it's broken one. Yeah, it's gone. All these beads bouncing around. Should be thinking, oh, I've got to tidy that lot up when it all drops onto the floor. Okay. So I feel like that is it. And I will go back in and finish that off. And again, let's just get rid of the beads. You need to go either spray your trick marker with your atomizer or a damp paintbrush. This is quite a satisfying part when you go in and get rid of the markings. Because I've not tightened that up, looks a bit. But I will finish. I will tighten it up. I will finish it off when I turn it over. But I just want to show you how sweet it looks once you've got rid. If you're using a heat erase pen, again, I did say, I have said, and I know I repeat myself, make sure that you use either a hairdryer or very lightly turn your embroidery onto a fluffy towel and very lightly iron it away. So we're about done on day number 2. These will dry and disappear. Just have a little look to see if I can see any more. I think there's a bit up there. Bit of that. Amazing. Okay, so we'll be back for day 3. Happy stitching!